Alright, here we go after a long time of absence. A couple of days ago I woke up and I felt like making a recording. A new series, and Fallout 4 stuck in the back of my mind, so I decided to start it up. And I found something interesting. In the past day or two I've been doing some research, and it turns out that a lot of my mods, my core mods, have been replaced. And that changes a few things, which makes this playthrough even more interesting, because some parts are new to me. This first video is actually not the playthrough. This first video I'm just going to show you my setup for Fallout 4, because there are so many mods, so many alterations, so many possibilities that I want to share with you how I play the game, and additionally give some comments on why and that sort of thing. So if you're not interested in all of this and you just want to see me stumble and fall and die and curse a lot, skip to video number 2. So how am I playing Fallout 4? Well, I've got the base game. Obviously you need the base game. Secondly, I am running a external mod. Now the external mod I can't really show you because they're just files, but an external mod is something that you start off before the game is launched, and this is because it does not work through the mod section of the Bethesda supported mod section of the game. And the mod that I'm using is Place Anywhere. For those who are not familiar with Fallout 4, Fallout 4 is the first in its franchise that has settlement building. So you can actually place items and grow your settlements, which previous Fallout games did not have. They were just adventure games. And Place Anywhere overgrows the limit, the extreme limitation that Bethesda has put on this system, because the vanilla version of the game is absolute garbage. Mind you that it is Bethesda's first attempt at this system of settlements and settlement management, but they did a piss poor job of it. They've tried to compensate with it with some DLC packs and some other items that will see this video, but it was absolute trash. And even now today, if you don't use this Place Anywhere mod, building a settlement is just a crick in the neck, because it won't snap right, it won't permit you to place in the most logic of places, but the game says no, it's too close to this or too close to that, or it's overlapping. And people with OCD like myself and having an engineering background, we cannot tolerate this. It'll make my head explode if I can't build what I have in my mind, if I can't make my design reality, if I can't even do it in this virtual world. How the hell am I going to do it in reality? If reality beats the game world, then the game world is flawed, in my opinion. So Place Anywhere will allow you to build just about anything anywhere, and that comes with a risk, like most mods. Because you can place anything anywhere, you have a tendency to place outside the normal designated boundaries of the settlements, and if you do that, your game becomes inherently unstable. So when you use this Place Anywhere mod, do be careful and don't break the limits of your computer and the game engine. Alright, so the base game, the external mod, which you need to launch, by the way, with Fallout 4 script extender. If you're interested in that, just look up on the internet, you'll find the relevant information. I'm not going to explain that to you, so how to install that. What else am I playing with? First of all the add-ons. Add-ons are the DLC packs. I bought Fallout 4 with all of them attached in one go, in one pack from Steam, so I have all of them. The Automatron is let me think here, that's a quest line, gives you an additional companion, and it gives access to the Automatron workbench, which allows you to build automatrons for your settlements. That sounds pretty amazing, but do be warned that 1, automatrons add to your population count, and there is a limit to that, and 2, automatrons tend to cause a negative morale bonus, or negative, how do I say, morale penalty. They tend to cause a morale penalty for your settlement, so building them usually doesn't serve much of a purpose. I do usually build one for shipment purposes, and I use it and I configure it in a way that it can carry a shit ton of items before it's overburdened. Do bear in mind that the Automatron workstation also permits you to alter your companions, your robot-based companions, which is quite interesting. Next, Wasteland Workshop. The Workshop DLCs pretty much just add stuff to your workshop. Your workshop is your interaction menu, to your settlements, and allows you to build stuff. So Workshop DLCs allows you to build more stuff, and that's pretty much it. Far Harbor is a section on the north of the map where you have to go into a new region. This region comes with settlements, an extra companion, I believe, and many more quests. I've never actually been there. I've played for hundreds of hours, and I still have never been to Far Harbor. It's ridiculous. Another workshop, contraptions. I can't really say which items are in these workshop DLCs, but I've noticed that they've updated the workshops, and you can now see through the use of icons where an item in your workshop comes from. If it's from a mod, if it's from a DLC pack, or, well, those are options, or if it's vanilla. Nuka World is the same as Far Harbor. It is a separate region in the game that you can travel to. It has quests and settlements, and Nuka World is actually a concept a little different from the rest of the game. It is a war zone. That's it. Pretty much a war zone where you fight over the settlements. And then the last one, I happen to use the high resolution texture pack, which is very big, and it is the only DLC that's free of charge. I've been reading up, and I've read and I've been told that this thing isn't worth it, and that there are better high resolution texture packs for that, smaller and better quality. I don't know if that's true. I will not comment on that. I have always played the game with this official high resolution pack, and I think it looks great. I don't know if there's a huge difference with vanilla or not, but I have the space on it on my hard drive, so it's installed, and there you go. Boom, done. So these are all the available DLCs. As far as I know, Bethesda isn't going to release any new ones. Alright, Creation Club. So what is Creation Club? Creation Club is essentially mods created by third-party creators, endorsed by Bethesda, which you have to pay for, and you can imagine that this can cause quite a backlash, and it has. It's caused a huge backlash towards Bethesda. Big fans hate it because it's the microtransaction concept of it, and I concur. However, they do have their benefits. One, because they're endorsed by Bethesda, they should be fully functional and not cause any crashes like many other mods do. And two, these mods will, one, not interfere with your achievements, because achievements are disabled if you use mods, and two, you can use them in survival mode, though I believe survival mode now also supports regular mods. I'm not sure. So there is a benefit to using these, but all in all, I would not support them. I do, however, own a few of them, and I'm going to show you which ones. Now, these are all skins. These are just visual cosmetic things. They don't really add anything to the game, and I got them for free, so don't think I actually paid for these. Paint jobs, some t-shirts, paint jobs for Pip-Boy. These were all for free. Every week, I believe Bethesda adds some free items to the shop, and, well, you can just download them. There you go. But they're all just paint jobs. That's all you get for free. The two items that I have that I actually paid for is, one is this picket fence. What is a picket fence? Picket fence are magazines that some of them you'll find in the vanilla game, and some of them you can buy here on the Creation Club. They essentially just add visual changes, cosmetics to your settlements. So new benches, new plants, new paintings, new furniture, new beds, etc., etc. None of them are actually functional. They're just skin jobs for items that you can already build. And some of them are pretty nice, actually. They are themed. Let me see if I can show you a few. I think it's Underworld. I think the picket fences are on the world. So you've got your Charleston condo, Capital Wasteland Mercenaries is something else. Let me see here. Slocum Joe workshop pack. Christmas workshop pack, very good now since it's December, but I'm still not going to buy it, sorry. A modern one, an ultra modern one, a neon one. As you can see, these are just themed items for your workshop. If you want to buy them, go ahead, but I'm not going to spend my money on that, I'm sorry. I don't think it's worth it. However, I do own picket fences, settlement, security. That's the only one I have, and the reason for that is because the settlement security picket fence comes with functional buildings, which means it actually adds more than just physical flavor to your or visual flavor to your settlement. It actually adds functionality. There is a shooting gallery here which adds happiness. There's a security system with cameras and TVs. I haven't used it yet, but it does work. There are some lures that you can use to actually provoke attacks on your settlements, and I think that's it. So that's why I bought that one. The other thing that I own, and that is almost a crucial item to have in the game, is the modular backpack. This guy. This modular... Hello, that's not what I clicked. Nor that. Okay, here we go. Modular backpack. The modular backpack adds some visual aid to your characters, but also adds, as you can imagine, inventory space and some other bonuses depending on how you configure the backpack. They can be quite handy at times. Yeah, inventory, as everybody knows that plays RPGs, inventory equals income. The more you carry, the more you sell, the more you have, the easier it becomes. So these things are great, and I really wanted this thing. It's almost shameful that the base game does not have a backpack concept in the game itself. Without this backpack, you'll never have a backpack, and that's a huge drawback in my opinion. So I got that one. So this is just 2 items that I got from Creation Club. That's it, nothing more. So last but not least, the not completely supported mods that I run with. Now, when I started the game 2 days ago, I noticed that there was a Sim Settlements 2 over my regular Sim Settlement 1. There you go, Sim Settlement 2. This is probably the biggest mod the game has ever seen. So what is Sim Settlement 1? Sim Settlement 1 was a mod created by Kinggath to spruce up your settlements. Settlements in Fallout 4, it kind of feels like they were not originally planned for the game and they were added at a later point, because they're kind of like the black sheep of the game. You have them, but you don't need them. They're not amazing. They are there as a bonus. Sim Settlement, or at least Sim Settlement 1, attempted to change that. Kinggath wanted to change it into more of a Sim City concept, and he did exactly that. Sim Settlement 1 supports something called plots, and these plots, you plot them down, and your settlers will build upon them, instead of you having to micromanage every little thing of your settlement. And that was quite a success, so he came up with an expansion to Sim Settlement 1, which added city management. So instead of just building plots, the second concept of his mod was a management system that would allow you to either use pre-made city layouts, or have your companions be in charge of a settlement and build those, have them build on their own, which added far more flexibility and far more variety to your settlements and made it far more interesting to come back and to actually manage your settlements rather than just leave them for dead. If you want more information, go to the website. I'm just giving you a quick rundown on what it does. I'm not Kinggath. Ask him if you have questions about this. The third thing he came up with is, when he had these initial 2 systems, was Sim Settlement Conqueror. And Conqueror actually lifts these systems and places them on all the settlements on the map, or at least most of them, and has them controlled by AIs. In other words, your settlements that are normally empty you run up to them, they're empty, or you need to kill a few creatures and you claim them and then you can build there, they are no longer empty. They are run by AIs and by different factions, and those factions are hostile towards you. So if you want those settlements, you'll either have to conquer them or destroy them, but you have to fight them, hence the word Sim Settlement Conqueror, and it came with its own quest line. But as I mentioned, I noticed that all of those things have been more or less replaced by Sim Settlements 2. Kinggath has had a good success with his mods, and he's now working with an entire team, and from what I understand, reading through his website, he has started with a clean slate, a tabula rasa. So they're now developing Sim Settlements 2 and converting Sim Settlement 1 into Sim Settlement 2, which means that all the old Sim Settlement 1 items and mods no longer work, at least not with Sim Settlement 2. They do work independently, mind you, so if you still want to use those, go right ahead, but you'll read on his website that soon there will be no more expansions for those, and there'll only be some bug squashes going on, but there will be no more expansion. Everything goes into Sim Settlement 2. So I had to manually remove all the mods that I had for Sim Settlement 1 and its support and replace them with Sim Settlement 2. I have no idea what exactly has changed and what is going to be added. As far as I know, Sim Settlement 2 is currently at the stage of the first two mods that Kinggath released, Sim Settlement 1 and the, Rise of the Commonwealth, I believe. So the plot system and the city management system are there, but SimCity, oh my god, Sim Settlement Conqueror is not yet in this mod, but I do believe they're going to add it. They've also added a lot of quest lines that were previously not with Sim Settlement 1. So we're just going to see what it does and how it goes. Interesting. I have no idea what's going to happen. Alright, next. Let's see. Let's go down the list here with the mods that I have other than Sim Settlement 2. The first one is the unofficial Fallout 4 patch, which is crucial for gameplay. Bethesda should be flogged for the fact that this mod is still needed, because it fixes quite a few broken quests that simply do not work correctly, and Bethesda refuses to fix them. This is almost criminal behavior. It's like buying a car with a broken window, then going back to the dealer, and the dealer saying, nah, you bought it with a broken window, deal with the broken window. It's criminal, but you need it, trust me. And some of the other mods actually are built upon the fact that these quests actually work correctly, so you need them to work correctly. In order to do that, you need this patch. It's almost criminal, but you need it. Workshop Framework is a Kinggath mod, which is an under-the-hood mod. It just enables a few things for your other mods, but on its own, you won't notice much from it. Same thing for HUD Framework. HUD Framework is from another developer, though, but it enables certain HUD overlays, which the other mods make use of. It is not, I believe, a crucial one, but if you don't have it, you just miss the HUD overlays, which is a shame. Then the core Sim Settlement 2 patch. On top of that, we will find fourth-party mods down the list. I'll tell you about those as well. Sleep or Save. I use Sleep or Save. It is a microscopically tiny little patch, but it is very important to me when playing survival mode, and I will be doing this playthrough on survival mode. It allows you to configure your save options. Survival mode in vanilla means that you can only save at a friendly mattress or bed. This, in concept, is great. It gives an extra challenge, but the fact is that Bethesda's games are super complex and have a tendency to crash, especially with the list of mods that I'm running. So you need to frequently save to prevent crashes, or, well, not prevent crashes, but to prevent a lot of progress due to a crash. This mod allows you to do that. It allows you to remove the fatigue penalty when you sleep only 1 hour. And in vanilla, when you want to do a sort of quick save, you have to sleep 1 hour, meaning you get a fatigue penalty, which sucks balls, obviously. And it will also allow you to sleep at hostile mattresses and beds and neutral ones. Normally you cannot do that because you don't control that mattress, but now you can. So it gives you a lot of extra save options, and I simply do it because of the frequent crashes that the game just suffers from, particularly again with all these mods running. It does kind of make the game a little too easy at times, because you can save pretty close to combat and things like that, but as I said, the primary reason why I have it is simply because the game can be so unstable and I don't want to lose hours of progress because there wasn't any friendly mattress nearby that I could sleep in and save. It does not enable the regular quick save, by the way, but you'll see that. Alright, visible companion affinity. Visible companion affinity is a very simple visual aid that shows your affinity with the companion that is with you at the time. The reason why I do that is so that I can see how much more time I need to spend with this particular companion in order to get him to like me enough to get me the permanent perk that you get from companions. It's just a visual aid, that's all it does. Next up, Everybody Best Friend. Now this is an amazing and very interesting mod. It is very small because all it does is actually re-enable a system that Bethesda has disabled from launch. Initially, Fallout 4 was intended to give you two companions, one human companion and one dogmeat. Dogmeat as a second companion permanently. However, they disabled that, and now dogmeat has become a regular companion, and those who know the game will know that dogmeat has quite a few drawbacks. For one thing, no armor, no weapons, a limited inventory space, yada yada yada. So what this mod does is it allows me to bring dogmeat and one additional companion. This can be considered as pretty OP, especially in the lower difficulties, but at survival mode I'd say is very nice to have, and it really adds to the game as far as I'm concerned. Scap. Scap is the counterpart of Place Anywhere mod, but this one is supported by the mod store. Well, the mod, what do you call this? I don't know, mod store. And this thing will pretty much allow you to scrap anything, and by anything I mean literally anything. You can scrap everything until you get one clear plane of the world. You can scrap literally everything in your settlements, down to the last little brick, down to the last little foundation, down to the last little bush. So when you use it, be exceptionally careful, because when you scrap something, you're not going to get it back. This has an added bonus. In order to allow you to scrap things, things must be selectable or highlighted, and as a result, as they are selectable or highlighted, they also give you the option of moving them. So now you can move your trees around, you can move your bushes around, you can move your hedges around, instead of just the few vanilla items that the game has pre-selected. This allows a great customization and rearrangement of your settlements, and really gives you the sense that you're renovating your settlements rather than just wiping them clean and building something out of your own imagination. You can really renovate things, because some things cannot be built, like the hedges, the green hedges in Sanctuary. You cannot build those, but now you can rearrange them instead of having to scrap or destroy them through this mod. You'll see what I mean when we start building. Next up is a visual change, the Sanctuary Bridge fix. I think pretty much every gamer that has played the game for a while is using this mod. It simply fixes the bridge outside Sanctuary, and it makes perfect sense. I wish Bethesda had made the bridge modular so that you could fix it yourself with some materials, but they never implemented that, because it doesn't make much sense to build a huge thriving community behind this bridge and then have this broken down ass bridge in front of it and not fix it. It's just illogical. It breaks immersion. I have noticed that this mod does come with a few drawbacks. For one thing, the stone walls behind the bridge near Sanctuary, they are no longer buildable, as in you can no longer build things on them, and that's most likely because these items, including the bridge itself, were lifted from the prologue of the game, the pre-war section of the game, and lifted into the post-war or post-bomb section of the game, and those particular items were not designed to be built on. They're just visual there. As a matter of fact, you can't even reach the bridge in pre-war, because when you run for the bridge, the bombs fall and you die, and it's game over. So you can no longer build on those stone walls. Not a huge problem. As a matter of fact, when you use the mod Place Anywhere, the preloaded mod I mentioned before, you can build on them anywhere because you can build anywhere. Hence the mod name Place Anywhere. Another drawback, in my opinion, is the jungle gym has been removed with this bridge. The designer did that consciously. I prefer to keep the jungle gym there. Others prefer to gone because it gives them extra building space, but it's your own preference. I find it a shame it's gone, but I'll live with it. And I've noticed another thing. I don't know if it's related to this particular mod, but on the other side of the bridge there's a dog corpse, and that dog corpse is a zombie because I keep throwing it in the river, and every time I return to Sanctuary he crawled out of the river and took up its original position again. So thanks to, I think, this mod, this particular bridge, Sanctuary now has a permanent welcome sign consisting of a dog corpse. Yeah. Oh well. We'll live with it. Next up is a map overhaul. This is just the map that you find in your Pip-Boy. This one is more detailed, has better position for certain locations, and it's overall just a better overhaul. And quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, Bethesda should throw out the old one and just use this one officially. Enhanced blood textures. Yeah, it's a nice little mod. Better visual blood. That's it. That's all it does. Next, some items. The first item on the list, solar power. I noticed these and they are awesome. I think they're very immersive to have. They are less useful with sim settlements because sim settlements you have industrial plots that produce power, so you tend to avoid using your own power items because those items will cost you materials and can be destroyed, while the industrial plots from settlements will not only produce power, but they will also produce taxes. Mind you that different plots produce different levels of power, so you may have to support your industrial plots with things like water treatment, the vanilla water treatment I mean, and these vanilla power supplements. These are pretty great and they're not overpowered at all. The small one on the wall only produces 3 power, the one on the roof or the floor only produces 5 power. You need a science perk of 2, so unless you immediately invest in that, it's going to take a while, and they're not cheap to build either as they cost copper and plastic. And copper is not the easiest to come by and pretty expensive to buy, so when you buy them you really either need them or you got somehow a surplus of copper. So they're not overpowered because they're not that easily obtained. And I just love them. They make perfect sense in a post-apocalyptic world. If you can scavenge some of these parts together and make a solar panel, that would be the way to go. So that's a nice addition to my settlement. Next up is the K9 harness. It's actually straightforward. It is the same modular backpack that I showed you in the Creation Club menu, except this one is for dog meat. That's pretty much it. Gives you extra inventory and some bonuses depending on the configuration. And the reason why it is so nice is because the dog armor in the game is quite rare and hard to find. You need high level enemies, so you need to be high level yourself in order for those dogs to actually carry armor, and the armor is quite ugly and doesn't offer all that much. And as far as I know, the vanilla armor cannot even be modded, so you cannot put like deep pocketed on it, creating more inventory space or things like that. And this armor, this harness, is great for that, and it does combine with certain other armor parts from the vanilla game, so you're not completely giving up all the other armor parts. Alright, the NC armor, veteran armor. I have this in Fallout 76. And I downloaded it yesterday for the first time. Apparently it's somewhere to be found in Diamond City. I've never used it. If it's too overpowering, I'll probably not use it or get rid of it. But I found it interesting that so many people wanted this for some reason, and I kind of gave in to peer pressure and downloaded it. Alright, so those are the only 3 actual physical items that I add to the game. Except for these bots. That's it, right? Yeah. These bots are amazing. I love the creator. I forgot his name. That's much how I love him. Anyways, these were originally designed for the vanilla version of the game, so some of them have lost their functionality, but they're still amazing to have. The first one is the Settlement Salvage Bot. Notice that all of these bots do not add to your population count, which is the first giant bonus. The second thing they do is they tend to automate certain processes, making your settlements more efficient and easier to manage. As I mentioned, the first one is the Salvage Bot, and has lost kind of its value. The Salvage Bot does exactly that. It salvages certain items, but its list of items that it will salvage is very short and very limited. So they're handy to place on a new settlement, as it will strip it of, as I said, the list of items, the very short list of items that it will salvage. But once that is done, it is done, and then it serves no more purpose. So this is probably the one that I won't build or bother with. The Tidy Bot. Now the Tidy Bot, on the other hand, is freaking amazing. The Tidy Bot will pick up any item in your settlement or near it. It will, well, not salvage, but what is the word? Collect. It'll collect all items around your settlements, even the ones that you don't see or can't reach. If you have items trapped in your foundations, for instance, this guy will actually attempt to retrieve them. He'll hover above it, maybe it'll bug out for a second, but it will retrieve all the items. And the best thing about this bot is when you place it near your entry point, where all the enemies tend to spawn that attack your settlements, he will salvage their corpses. He will take off the armor, the weapons, the ammo, and everything. So you don't need to do that anymore. You just kill him, you leave him, and TidyBot will bring all that stuff in this blue box. It will not add it to the workshop, though. You'll have to get it out of the blue box, but you can sort it and throw it in the workshop or wherever you want to sort it. So this thing is absolutely amazing. Never ever will you have to miss out on any free loot from idiots that suicide on your settlement walls. This is great. The Medic Bot, even better. The Medic Bot will heal and assist any friendlies in and around your settlement. It will heal all HP, all your hit points, both for your limbs and your general hit points, and it will remove all radiation. What it will not do is remove any negative statuses, such as fatigue, broken bones, or things like that. Which is okay, because that would be greatly overpowered. There is one minor drawback. This thing will make you shit bricks at times, because it will sneak up on you when you're in the settlement and zap you with a big electric flash and literally scare the shit out of you. At least it does for me. But it's a small price, you know, clean underwear is a small price to stay alive, so there you go. The Repair Bot, well, pretty much says what it does. For the record, the Medic Bot heals both humans and robots. It will fix robots as well. The Repair Bot does not fix robots, it fixes emplacements, vanilla emplacements like these, the solar power plant. But it also fixes your turrets. So if the martial plots that come with Sim Settlement aren't sufficient to defend your settlements, you'll have to surplus them with your own turrets. Same way, if the industrial plots don't provide enough power, you need to surplus them with your own power, your vanilla power structures. And the Repair Bot will repair all of them if damaged. This has a major drawback. Benefit being that your turrets are repaired. The downside being that if you don't provide enough power, your power plants will overheat, get damaged, and be destroyed. Then a Repair Bot will repair that generator and rinse and repeat. It will overheat, damage, and destroy. And Repair Bot will keep doing that over and over and over again until your settlement is completely out of copper. It'll consume everything. So for the love of God, be very careful when you place this, because it will consume components out of your workshop in order to repair those items. So make sure it doesn't go into an endless repair loop, because you'll, as I said, you'll run out of copper, and copper is pretty precious. Next up is the Police Bot. The Police Bot is a little different from the other ones. It comes in 5 marks depending on what your level is, and what your science level is. It goes up to Mark 5, I believe, and this is the only bot out of these bots that can have plural implementations into your settlement, so you can build more of them. Essentially, it's just a turret. Now, before you say, well, this thing is now obsolete because you can build robots with your automatron workbench, wrong. You can build very dangerous automatons with your new workbench from the DLC, but those add to your population count again, and they also have a negative impact on settlement morale. This police bot does neither, because it is not an inhabitant, it is a structure. It is considered a structure, so it has no negative impact and it does not add to your population count. So that's why these things are great. They're essentially just like normal gun turrets, but a bit more flexible and a bit more immersive. They make perfect sense in larger settlements that start to turn out to be cities. It makes perfect sense to have these run around. If the bot gets destroyed, I do believe that MedicBot tries to heal it, and if it fails and it is completely destroyed, it will eventually respawn, provided that the base tube here is still operational. Quite handy. The last one is the Settlement Gardener bot. What does the Gardener bot do? It actually doesn't really garden, it harvests. It should be a settlement harvest bot. When you have vanilla, because I'm pretty sure this does not work with the agricultural plots from Sim Settlement 2, but vanilla crops are not harvested by your settlers. Your settlers only attend to the needs of the plants, and once they're fully grown, they're not harvested. This bot actually harvests those plants, so you actually got the physical items from those plants coming in, like melons and wheat and gourd and other stuff, and then you can use them for cooking or other crafting, which is quite handy. This particular bot comes with 3 support bots, though, called Assistant Gardener robots that you can build. Those actually work the same as automatrons. They add to the population of the settlements, and unlike the gardener bot, the assistant gardener bots do not harvest, but they tend the crops just like settlers do. So there's not really a point to building them unless you're desperate for settlers, but settlers are easily enough to obtain. So I would never build these assistant robots, just the main one, because there are no drawbacks to it. Alright, so these bots are absolutely freaking amazing, and I can recommend everybody download and use them, except, as I said, the Salvage Bot has kind of lost its use, and the Settlement Gardener Bot, I fear, will not be so useful if I use the agricultural plots of Sim Settlement 2, but we'll see how it goes. I'll just build them both and see if they actually harvest all the plants on the plots. It would be nice if it did. The last two, or the next two, are Atomic Radio and Mercury Theater. These are just radio stations we can listen to. Atomic Radio is a reintegration of the standard Diamond City vanilla radio station. It has the same music, but Trevor's yapping has been replaced by some really awesome, yeah, I'm replaying them in my head right now. Some really awesome custom-made commercials, and they're super satirical and definitely R-rated. So, at least in my opinion, they're R-rated, but they're very, very funny about the weirdest of topics, and as I said, clearly satirical. We'll be listening to this for sure. The Murky Theater was a minor disappointment. I'm not saying it's bad, but I expected classical music from this age, and it turns out that this old classic station is doing something even more authentic. It is literally authentic material from this age, but there are all, well, as it pretty much hints in the name, I guess it's my own fault, it's a theater radio station, which means they play theater online. So for the millennials among us, imagine your next Marvel movie coming through the radio. That's pretty much what it is for that day and age. And people and entire families would actually sit around that the radio and listen in as a family event, as people used to do with the TV. Beyond that, and now they do it around the computer or the telephone, I suppose. It's very nice. It is awesome they put it in there, but it tends to become super annoying, boring after a while, same as older radio stations, I suppose. but this one in particular, because you're not really paying attention to the story, you really need to focus to appreciate it, and when you're busy with the game that doesn't really happen. But we can switch it on just for variety. And after that, I believe, I have 2 tapes, settlement management software and settlement menu manager. These are just 2 tapes that you can use to help run your settlement. I don't know how they synergize with sim settlements, but they give a few extra options like better tracking of your settlement inhabitants and your companions, I think, and assigning a few things, assigning settlements, for instance. So it makes life a little easier when it comes to settlement management. They're not amazing, but they are nice to have. And then these 6 are the only Sim Settlement 2 add-ons. These are 4th-party developers. There aren't any new ones yet. Most developers are either still busy or will not convert their old Sim Settlement 1 mods to Sim Settlement 2, which is a shame, but that's just how it is. These are the only ones available at the moment, all 6 of them, and they come from, I believe, 3 or 4 different developers. Most of them simply add plots. These are different plot styles, so when you drop down a plot, a random construction of these is picked. You can manually pick them as well if you want, but it adds variety to the plot styles. This one adds fences. I'm not sure what that means yet. We'll see what it does. If it's for plot, yeah, here it says plots, but here it says fences, so the plot is turned into a fence. I'm not sure. Maybe it's designed in such a way that its secondary function is a fence, so you can place them at the edge of your settlement. I don't know. The description isn't clear enough. This one adds huge structures. I probably won't be using it, but since it's based on Sim Settlement 2 and there are so few mods for it, I downloaded it anyway. Let's see, here's an add-on pack with quite 22 plots. Again, plot layouts, all Vault visual based plots, so I'll be looking forward to that because I'm a big Vault fan. So this one also has plots, plot designs. Pretty much that's it. Some of them are kind of dumb, like Call of Duty. Well, I mean, if you like it, then there you go. What? Call of Duty? A minute's rest for the Minuteman. It's Minuteman's theme, but it's called Call of Duty. I figured this was like the other game themed layout, but I guess it isn't, so that makes better sense then. Good. And another superstructure one. I don't know what I'll be using of that, or probably nothing other than the standard plots that come with it as well. So these are the only 6 available at the moment, which is unfortunate because there is one mod for Sim Settlements 1 that I really want, so let me take this opportunity to show you which one that is. I believe I still have it under my favorites. Or are you? There, IDEC. IDEC, if you... Oh, wrong one. Yeah, I don't use this visual overlay, by the way. It makes the whole wasteland of Commonwealth much greener, but it has drawbacks that it can be visually obstructive, so I've disabled that. This one, Sim Settlement IDEC. IDEC, if you're listening, for the love of me, please, can you convert this to Sim Settlement 2? What is IDEC's Logistics Station? IDEC Logistics Station is, well, here's the base version of it, and it'll grow bigger, is an industrial plot, a predetermined, you'll have to manually select it, an industrial plot that links your settlements. Each settlement will have one of these logistics stations, and it is a vast upgrade from the vanilla logistics system. The vanilla logistics system will only link your workshop inventories, and you'll have very limited capability of reaching into other settlements from one settlement to another settlement in that inventory. This logistics station pretty much eliminates it. It also allows you to customize your provisioners. Those are the guys that walk between the settlements and link it into the network. With this system, you will be able to customize them a lot more, and you'll be able to track them better. You can even disable them so they cannot be killed, but the logistics system still works, so that's kind of nice too, if that's the way you want to go. And this system is just fantastic. This locker, for instance, which every logistics station has, allows you to reach in to other settlements without actually having to go there. So this thing is absolutely fantastic to have on survival mode, because survival mode prevents fast travel. Now I do not have this privilege anymore, so I will have to run back and forth between settlements, which is a crick in the neck to do. So I would love, here's the logistic network, for instance, and you can customize this entire logistic network how you want it to function. But I'll have to use the vanilla version, which is a pain in the ass. So once more, IDEC, please convert this to Sim Settlements 2 so we can use this wonderful thing again, because as far as I know, this is not standard available in Sim Settlements 2. So if IDEC doesn't do it, then maybe we can beg Kinggath to actually implement this into his Sim Settlements 2 basic mod, because this option is absolutely fantastic to have. I really want it back, please. But currently it does not work, because it only works with Sim Settlement 1, and I've uninstalled those, so we're working with Sim Settlement 2. That's pretty much it. Alright, so now that we know all of that, we know we have the base game, we have all the add-ons, we have the preloaded Place Anywhere mod, we have 2 Creation Club mods with some visual skins and all the mods I just went through. Now we're ready to play. I already started playing. I'm here at the finish here of Vault 111. So for a nice finish of this video, I'm going to go out the vault and wrap things up and start with the actual playthrough. Here we are at the end of the vault. For those who don't know the prologue, I'm sure there are other YouTube videos available that will show you the prologue. The last thing I will show you is my ugly ass face and the initial configuration that I have. Here, this is the last opportunity to change your special attributes. Appearances you can change in the game if you have a barber's chair or you go to Diamond City, but you can still change it here. I'll show my ugly ass face first, and I've tried to base this off my actual appearance. So for those who are interested in what I look like this but much older. That's pretty much it. Also a little less hair here in the front, but we'll pretend that's not true. At least I will. Unshaven cut, thick eyebrows, and I love the fact that these eyes are exactly like my eyes. Green aqua, I think they're called. Yeah, alright, whatever, done. Moving on. The special attributes. Now I have a weird special attribute configuration. I always go for intelligence and charisma maxed out. The reason for that is intelligence determines how much XP you get. So the higher it is, the more XP you get for whatever it is you're doing. So you level up a little faster. I find it very important, especially on survival modes, so you can level up faster, but it does give you, of course, obvious drawbacks. You level up faster, but you will have to, because you have to compensate now for all these other weaknesses. Charisma is very important because persuading people will give you XP and access to other parts of the game, so I always max that out as well. Next is strength and endurance. Endurance, of course, so you won't die after you sneeze, and strength is your carrying capacity, so I usually max out these two quite quickly. Perception and agility are very important if you use the, the VAT system. I try to avoid that system as much as I can and turn it into a real time first-person shooter. And luck is also very important, can be, but as I said, it is luck, so even at level 10 you can still be disappointed. So as important as it can be, I'm gonna leave it for what it is now. Late game luck becomes more and more important because you get higher and tougher enemies, therefore better loot, and you definitely want a big pile of luck to get even better loot out of those guys, while early game you're gonna get trash anyways, so boo fricking who. Alright, that's it. So a bit weird configuration to start off with, makes the start a bit hard at times, but it can be rewarding late game as you level up so much faster. Alright, here we go.
Enjoy your